You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 420 for the 24th of July 2022.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hey up there, Janie, how are you doing?
A bit sweaty, love, but we won't talk about that, will we?
Let's just talk about it for 1 minute, because I've had so many messages from our lovely people all over the world saying, hang on a minute, hang on, British climate hitting over 40 degrees centigrade, it's not meant to be that hot there. How are you guys doing?
Yeah.
To the other extreme, where people have said, get over yourself, we have this all the time. Yes, you probably do. But 90% of our offices and school buildings and places of work don't have aircon. You go turn your aircon off and come back and talk.
Yeah, I think this is the problem, isn't it? I mean, you know, us Brits, if we go abroad and we weren't getting temperatures in the high 30s and the low 40s, we'd be moaning, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
But the problem is this country is not set up for it. We don't have aircon in our homes. We even debated, Simon and I, going to Starbucks because our local Starbucks has got amazing aircon. And I said, the only problem is that we'd sit in there and we'd be lovely for however long and probably stay there way too longer than we needed to, probably drink way too much coffee. But then we'd have to get back in the car, and that would be the killer.
Yeah.
So I know you had, was it 43 degrees one day? And I think I got home after my car had been parked in the shade yesterday and it was 41 degrees.
Yeah. 43 degrees in the shade inside my car. The Tuesday afternoon, it was so hot in my classroom, I stumbled like I was going to collapse. So I had to sit down and down some water, and at that point members of staff were starting to get a bit concerned because I went a very, very weird colour, and we were very quickly moved from my classroom, which was a bit like Hades at the time. It was like I was on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, being sent to hell, and I got put down in the basement of the school, which is our library, and I realised, oh my word, this place is so cool. Why have I never been in here to cool down? And it was so cool because it's sort of like part of our old cellar, and we've had it refurbished.
So it would be cold,
Yeah, so I hid down there and it was lovely. The kids and I just read books. It was chill. It was wonderful. But yeah, we've had weird things like people protecting bridges because the bridges were going to melt. Roads were melting. You know, shops and businesses. I feel sorry for people in the food industry because they've had to cook in these unbearable temperatures.
Yeah. I do know a few places that decided quite sensibly to close the kitchens, which was, you know, a good thing to do. And like I say, it sounds a bit daft to anywhere else, especially probably some of our American friends, but it's because we don't have the aircon. That's why we do struggle. But, you know, we can't complain. How many summers, Michelle, do we moan that we don't get the sunshine?
Well, we've had it now. This is summer 2022. It's
is that
done.
It? Is that over and done with?
And I know we're all saying Michelle needs training for Disney heat, but yeah, could have done without this week, especially the last week of school.
It's a different heat as well, though, over here. It's not quite.
Well, yeah, because you can't enjoy it because you're working.
Well, there is that element, true.
You know, it's different to Disney, because in Disney, if I'm hot, I go into an aircon building.
Well, that's the solution, isn't it? See, this is what I was saying. If you're on holiday, particularly if you're at Disney, the solution to feeling too hot is shopping.
Or eating.
Or eating.
Or Mickey's Magic.
It's trying to find your way. It's like a challenge, isn't it? Can you find your way around a Disney theme park with a minimal amount of time outside?
And you can do it.
Yeah,
and if
absolutely.
you plan your day accordingly and sort of think about all of those things that you can do that are cooling. There's the misting areas. There's the areas where it's a bit of a wet play, like up in the big circus area over in Magic Kingdom. You know, just say to the kids, do you mind if I have a little bit of splash time, please? And if it's going to cool you down and stop your temperature going up, making you feel unwell, but also making you grumpy and being a bit grouchy towards other guests in the park, you know, do that. Go on an attraction that's going to cool you down. There are plenty around there that have minimal wait, like Carousel of Naps is an ideal place to go and cool down, enjoy the air conditioning for 20 minutes, see the new updated scenes, and just recompose yourself, and then go outside. There's that little Joffrey's cart where you can go and get an amazing chilled coffee or a warm coffee or a beverage of your choice. You can go get an ice cream. There's so many ideas, but the main thing is whatever you do is just keep hydrating. Lots of that water fluid. Forget the soda. Forget the hot drinks. Just get water down you. And my top tip is what I always do when I'm in the parks is before I even get into the parks, I aim to have drunk a litre of water. Whether that's while I'm getting dressed, whether I'm in the transportation to go to the park, whatever. I always try and down that first litre. So I leave the room with 2 bottles and one of them's gone by the time I get to the park. Because I know I'm trying to get about a 4 to 5 litre daily average of water down my neck. And it's possible because every time you stop and get a snack, can I have a cup of ice water?
Yeah, water's free.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing stopping you asking for a couple of cups. They'll give you it because they don't want guests collapsing.
No, I'm much more quenching for you than a full-on sugary or even a diet soda. That, you know, the water is a better option to go for.
Well, it is, especially for me who's a little bit conscious of the older financials. So
see, you're winning on 2 parts here, aren't you? You're getting your money-saving tips and you're getting your how to survive the heat tips.
Yeah. Because another thing that I highly recommend you do is to maybe shake up what you normally have as a drink. I normally live on lattes. I love a latte with a bit of syrup. I'm done. But when I go to Florida, I have a lot of those refresher drinks from Starbucks, or I'll have a slush drink. All of those are a lot better than the soda-based ones because they're predominantly water and ice.
Yeah. And this is it. It's just finding cooling alternatives, isn't it? I must admit, oh crikey, this is going back a fair few years when we were there with the kids when they were quite small, and they wanted those fans that you fill with the water, so you spritz and everything. And of course, typical mum, I was like, no, it's a waste of money. You're not having those, blah blah blah. And then because they kept nagging me, I gave in like you do as a mum. Best thing ever. I think I probably used it more than the kids did. So, you know, if you've got some sort of concoction or a little portable handheld fan that you can take around with you just to help alleviate as well, that's maybe not a bad thing to do.
One of the best gifts I ever bought myself was from the Japan Pavilion, and at the back they have these wonderful, beautiful fans, and they'll even write down the wooden spine of it, your name in Japanese. I hope it's my name in Japanese, not horrible tourist or anything like that. And that is just brilliant. It takes up absolutely no space in my bag, but if I'm feeling a bit hot and flustered and I feel like I'm going to growl at somebody, I get that out and I start fanning myself, I start cooling down. And previously when they had those Duffies around World Showcase and you could go get a Duffy on a bit of wooden stand, that was the best fan ever because it really cooled you down.
Yeah.
And it was free and it was fun.
Again, another one that, you know, the kids wanted to do, and I actively encouraged them to do those.
It's so sad that it's finished as that because it was a really good thing for people like me that had left the hotel without the fan to be able to get one, but then and go and visit different cast members in the different countries. So I hope that one does come back really quickly because it is a good one. Have you and your family ever tried those cooling towels down the back of your neck?
I haven't, no. Have you?
I think the whole idea of something soggy on the back of my neck isn't really appealing. So, no. But I have done something slightly different with my wardrobe this year. Normally, I've worn like a little strappy top. I've tended this year to get round neck T-shirts just to basically protect my ink work that I've got on my shoulders and my back. And to also minimise my skin exposure to the sun. So some very thin cotton T-shirts, And I'm going to try and avoid wearing dresses and skirts in the park because it is just so warm. So maybe some shorts and, of course, the obligatory comfy trainers.
Oh, absolutely. It's the one thing I hate wearing is comfy is trainers when it's really, really hot. But you have to recognise you're going to do an awful lot of walking. You may not think you are, but you are, and you need to be comfy.
And another top tip, in the supermarkets, they do sell little small tubs of baby powder, talc. And something I always do is I take out that in my park bag with a fresh pair of socks, because if my feet start feeling a little bit tired, I rub in the talcum powder and it really does help that achy, sweaty, soggy foot feeling that you get. And just putting on the fresh socks as well really gives you an extra boost of energy. Some people I know have been prone to, even as soon as they see the rain, whipping off the trainers, putting them in the backpack, keeping them dry, and wear a pair of flip-flops, because if it's rainy, flip-flops dry super quick. Trainers don't. And they've sort of waddled around the park in the flip-flops as it's been rainy. When it stopped, they've gone somewhere, changed over, got the trainers back on, and jobs are good, and you've not got soggy trainers. So that, I think, is another really good tip for staying cool.
And plus it means you're out in the rain, so the rain is going to cool you anyway. Most people will run for cover. An ideal time to get around and maybe get over to a new attraction that you've been waiting to get on, or just, to get around the park a little bit easier, and just take advantage of that time, because people will run around trying to get cover, or perhaps even leave the park. So you might be able to get yourself in a better position without the soggy trainers. And then once everybody's dispersed and decided what they're going to do, the sun comes out again, your feet take no time to dry whatsoever, and you're on your way again.
Absolutely. Now, okay, if there is any sign of thunder, all outside attractions go down. But there are a lot of attractions that are inside that you can go and enjoy. Particularly, I'm thinking It's a Small World, Mickey's PhilharMagic, Peter Pan. Their queues are predominantly inside. You'd be good for that one. Haunted Mansion. You might just want to position yourself in a place where you're ready to dive into Seven Dwarfs Mine Train as soon as they reopen.
Exactly. And that's it. You could actually take best advantage of those little blips in the weather. Just don't think of them as a blip. Don't think of them as spoiling your day. Think of them as an opportunity.
Another top tip I have is get yourself over to Animal Kingdom, because as soon as it rains over there, people do tend to leave. And with it staying open through the summer months to maybe 7, 8 o'clock, if you get there about 4 and it's already had the rainfall because you've been through the rainfall on the transportation, the park will be cooler, the park will be emptier, and you'll be able to get all of those attractions done. And don't forget, if you get in the line for Flight of Passage at 7:59, you're going to be queuing on Disney's time, not yours. Even if it's an hour and a half queue, it's not your time you're using, it's Disney's time, because the park would have shut at 8, but they can't send you away till 8 o'clock.
And then you get the benefit of walking through an empty park.
Absolutely, and it's brilliant to get those photo opportunities, particularly around the Tree of Life when there are no people around. There'll be people ushering you along and making sure you don't dilly-dally, but that is an absolute bonus of being over at Animal Kingdom. And I have been there a few times when the rain has been set and it's gone through 9, 10 o'clock at night and you've not been able to do anything because it's all closed. But that's, I suppose, a risk that you do take with that particular park. But that's an idea. Just think about things that way. Definitely the hydration, lots of snacks. Oh my word, some fresh pineapple covered in chocolate. In the searing heat, there is nothing better apart from ice cream. Or Dole Whip.
Or Dole Whip.
Or Citrus Swirl.
Okay, we could start going, or this, or that, or the other. But yeah, look after yourselves, keep yourselves hydrated, be sensible, find the shade when you can, find the aircon when you can, and you'll have a great time.
And you don't have to go out and buy any expensive jizzy-jazzy type of items to keep you cool, because you can just buy a fan in the park. You can use a park map, for heaven's sake, to fan yourself. Save that money for a snack that you really want.
Yeah, use your umbrella as shade.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
While we're talking about attractions and this, that, and another, and parks and whatever, there's been a few things are happening in the Disney World world.
Mm.
And one thing that's got me really, really sort of like, oh my word, it's still July, is over in the Disneyland Resort, they've started selling some Halloween merch.
No.
Yep, a Halloween youth t-shirt has been spotted in the park. And not a very good one, I must admit. It's a bit not my type
Okay.
of thing. But it's in there already and it's July. At this rate, we'll be celebrating Christmas in August.
Yeah, it is a peculiar one, isn't it? We've said this time and time again, and it's whilst it's great that people can go to the parks and get this merch or get the experiences that are slightly askew from time, there is something about being in the parks at the right time of year to experience those festivals rather than them coming forward so far in advance.
Thinking of merch, there's some absolutely ghoulishly delightful ears available now over in Disneyland, and it's the green and black stripe, that the apron that the cast members wear.
Yeah.
And then it's got the classic purple filigree design as the bow, and then it's got a top hat in between, and it's got like a little bat on it and things like that. And the ear band is black with a yellow middle with some fetching yellow details that really zing. The only sad thing for me is I don't know whether it's just my head shape or what, but maybe it's because I'm getting older. Maybe I'm just getting grumpier. But whenever I've tried these new ears, they do tend to nip me a little bit, and I can manage about 40 minutes before I'm taking them off and putting them away.
You know why that is, don't you?
No.
Well, so you buy more pairs because you're going to swap and change them more often.
No, I'm just going to bin them. Just sounds like, no, these are killing me. I don't like them anymore. They are so painful. I don't like the painful ears. I've been watching some cruise stuff.
Oh, getting excited.
I'm getting very excited. One thing I've got particularly excited for is the CDC has announced no longer do you have to have anything to go on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
But
so how does this affect you though, Michelle?
Well,
or does it affect you?
Princess Cruises have removed the pre-testing, I believe, before embarkation, but I think you still have to have vaccinations. And I think from what I've read, it depends on where you're sailing to, because certain countries that the ships dock at have different requirements, and I think one of them is quite different. It's Canada. So if you're going and maybe doing Alaska, just double check on that. But at the moment, Disney Cruise Line are still saying you've got to be vaccinated and you've got to have a antigen negative test before embarkation. And whether you do that in your home or resort, or as long as it's done 48 hours before, if there isn't anything put online by a certain cut-off point, you can be tested at the port at your expense. Which I have found a provider that will do this for me. It's a little bit cheaper than I was anticipating, but me being a little bit of a tightwad is kind of hoping Disney might say, from the 1st of August, you'd no longer have to do a COVID test to get on our ship.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
That would be. It's not the fact that I need to test, it's the anxiety of what if I'm positive, I'm going to impact on Anthony's holiday because he won't be able to board. And then I'm an English person in America. I've no hotel booking, I've no transportation. What am I going to do for those 7 days till I fly home? I've got to be responsible, and if I'm unwell, stay out of other people's way and isolate. But how can I do that when I've nowhere to live? I'll be on a park bench.
Yeah, I mean, we could get into a whole COVID conversation, which this is probably not the forum for it. But at the end of the day, you know, we're 2 years plus into this now. We've got to learn to live with it. And anybody should, you know, if you're feeling icky, stay away from people like you should do if you've got the flu or a cold or a tummy bug or whatever. I just think we need to get back to our normal lives and accept that it's there and move on.
I want my life back, Jenny. I want
and stop all this stress. It's no good.
It's just creeping away at me. I can't believe I'm actually going to be there until I'm actually there.
And that's, from my point of view, Shell, that to me is spoiling your holiday for you. Part and parcel, especially for those of us who are travelling an awful long way to get to Disney. And therefore, we know a lot of people that will save up for a number of years to get there. And with prices going up, they're probably going to be saving up even longer now. You use that time prior to going to get excited, to look forward, to plan. But you've now got this thing hanging over you that is causing you anxiety, that's causing you stress, it's causing you perhaps not to be looking forward as much as you should be able to. And stress and anxiety are not good for us at any time. They do lots of untold damage to our systems, and we don't need those extra pressures putting on our lives at any time, especially not when we're supposed to be looking forward to a vacation.
Absolutely, completely agree with that. What else have we got for you? So I was talking about the cruise, and I was watching some reports about the Disney Wish.
Oh, right, yes.
Different pluses and different minuses on the Disney Wish.
Oh.
A lot of people reporting back that the adult areas were incredibly jam-packed. But then saying that it could have been because the cruises that I've been watching so far were like media cruises, this, that and the other. And media people don't tend to take a lot of little people with them because Disney invite them, not their family.
Yes, yeah.
So we'll wait and see on that. But you've heard of the $5,000 cocktail?
Yes, I have indeed. The Kyber Crystal, is that right?
That's the one. I know of at least 3 people now who have bought it.
Well, I must admit, I did see on my social somebody had bought it, and I'm thinking, really? Okay. Now, to be fair, I think you do get, you get like a ticket or a voucher or something to go to Skywalker Ranch, is that right?
Yeah. Forget the cocktail, guys. Forget that bit. The best bit is paying $5,000 for 4 people to go to Skywalker Ranch. That's worth $5,000. Forget about the alcohol.
Yeah. I think this is it, isn't it? This is an inroad to do something that you cannot do otherwise.
Because you can't pay to do that.
No.
But I did hear when I was watching one of the videos that there is 3 shots in these solid mezcal containers. It comes in this ice cream churn, which you being a Star Wars person know the joke.
Yeah.
And they put in a code and it all opens, and there's a lot of amateur dramatics before that with rooms going dark and whatever. And then basically you get these 4 vessels with the alcohol in, and each one's rarer than the other.
Okay.
It's incredibly difficult to get, like the special edition cuvee that they're using. There's only 794 bottles in the world.
Okay, so you are paying for the alcohol then as well.
The gin is so super rare. It's distilled in the atmosphere that's replicated to be something like on the top of Mount Everest.
Okay.
And when they do 50 runs, it takes them that much to get 50 mils of gin. So can imagine how many runs it takes them to get even 1 bottle. So that's super, super rare. And there's a tawny port, which is incredibly rare, and another drink that's incredibly rare. So it is a super, 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 super rare cocktail with a big perk of you finding 3 other people that might want to go to Skywalker Ranch. And all I can think about is the Big Bang Theory, where Sheldon runs off to try and get into the big... Yeah, I just thought it was so funny. That's the image that coming to my mind. But yeah, it's great to see people are wanting to do these things. Admittedly, 2 of the people I saw, it was obviously as part of their business. Hats off to them. It's great that they're able to do that because it's getting extra content and views and clicks for their business because they're the people that are doing it. And
I think that's how you have to look at it with these vloggers that are doing this. It isn't an investment in their trade, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, because word of mouth, we're talking about it now. And I will say the person I watched was Pete Werner from The Diz. I watch The Diz all the time. And I really do enjoy watching it. The content they bring keeps me close to the parks when I am not in the park. Again, Becky Menkin from MER Mars Fan Travel. She also purchased the said drink and I'm waiting for her review on it. Again, I have used MAI for this year's cruise trip, So again, great for them. And again, another content provider that shares their travels around the world so that we who can't get to the Disney theme parks can enjoy it.
Yeah, well, it enables us to live vicariously through them, doesn't it? And just to keep in touch with what's happening, whether it's on the cruise ships or in the parks or wherever it may well be. It'd be nice to see their follow-up vlogs when they actually get to go to Skywalker Ranch. And isn't there something to do with, do you get a special send-off on the cruise as well or something like that?
Yeah.
Which is all a little bit mysterious at the moment.
It is. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll be glued to YouTube to find out.
Yeah. At least we're watching something informational and worthwhile, Michelle.
Absolutely. Massive also shout out to all ears, because I just love watching the exploits of Molly and Quincy, and I feel like they are part of my family because the entertainment they bring to me is amazing.
Oh.
So I hope I bump into them in the parks. It would be amazeballs.
Yeah, I think this is the thing, isn't it? It's depending on who you choose to watch. I think you do feel rather close to them because you're watching them perhaps every day or every other day or whatever. So it's you get a bit like geeked out, don't you, if you think about it?
Yeah. Fingers crossed I will be bumping into John Sakari, aka Big Fat Panda, while I'm in Walt Disney World. We've got a plan.
Hey.
But last time we got into a plan, it involved me taking him to the Rose and Crown, and that was quite interesting. And he got the better deal. He took me to Via Napoli, and we had amazing food in Via Napoli. He got us arancini to start with. Then we got the pepperoni pizza, which was amazing. It was the size of me. And then I took him to the Rose and Crown for a damp squid of a Yorkshire pudding and sticky toffee pudding and trifle, which was nothing like the cuisine I have and love at home. But we laughed about it, and then we nearly got thrown out of the shop because I kept on talking very British.
You put on a posh accent and everything.
Oh, la-di-da. I am related to the Queen, do you know? It was quite funny, actually. Yes. Anyway, talking of keeping cool, how about Club Cool?
Club Cool? Freebie drinks?
Cool. Mm-hmm. So I have got a friend I work with who has never been to Walt Disney World.
Right.
So I'm going to be a little bit naughty.
Oh no, what?
I'm going to ask him to try one or two beverages at Club Cool. And I'm going to sort of expand a little bit by saying, oh my word, whatever you do, do not try the Sprite from Russia. It is cucumbery, it's not very nice, it's horrible. Do not try the Royale from the Philippines. No, you don't want that watermelon drink. It is horrible. But do you know what's the best drink on that dispenser? You can tell what's coming, Jane.
You're not going to do it,
I'm going to tell him that it is my holiday tradition to go and get a Beverly and down it in one and enjoy it. And he's got to go, here's to Beverly, and then down it, and then, yeah.
You're cruel.
Yeah.
But funny.
I know. I hope his friend who he's travelling with is going to take a video and share it with me, because...
just about to say, that's the only problem, Michelle. You set all this up and you're not going to be able to be there to enjoy the ramifications from it. So you need that video.
Well, when I heard he was going to Walt Disney World and it's his first trip there, I thought, oh, amazing, because he goes on Wednesday next week, and it's like, oh darn, you fly back literally 2 days before I get there. It would have been so good to have sort of done the Beverly challenge.
Crossed. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Hey ho. But yeah, I'm going to make him do that. But I have seen on Ollie's that a couple of the flavours aren't available at the moment, and one of my particular favourites is the drink from the Dominican Republic. Having been to the Dominican Republic, I've actually had it in the Dominican Republic. It was really nice. So I hope it comes back into stock soon.
That's all these world chain supply issues, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, there was the drink from the Dominican Republic and Korea not available the other day. So I hope it all turns up. Have you been watching any of the food and wine coverage?
I haven't. I've seen odd little bits and pieces, but nothing. I've not binged anything yet.
All I will say, Jane, is the Fry Basket is proven to be a massive hit.
Yes,
so
I
much
have
so,
seen little bits about that. Yes.
day one, they sold out.
Really?
They closed.
Oh my goodness.
So if we haven't mentioned this before, it's a trio of different fries. It's called a fry flight.
Mm-hmm.
That's very hard to say at this time of
Fry
afternoon.
flight.
Where you have a chips that are salt and vinegarised, which is how us Brits do tend to have our
Yes.
salt and vinegar chips. And then there's one with like bacon and all sorts of good stuff on it. And then there's a sweet potato casserole, which is sweet potato fries. And it's got pecan nuts and whiskey sauce, is it?
Yeah, some marshmallow.
Marshmallows. They just sound amazing. I'm going to ask, can I just have a fry flight of those, please?
I'm guessing probably not. You're going to have to go for the 3, I would think.
Yeah. But even the yucca fries that they have, which is a different portion that you can just get on their own, are proving to be very tasty as well.
Oh, okay.
So,
Not something I've ever think I've had, actually.
yeah. I don't think I have had yucca before.
No.
But I was watching a TV programme last night about people eating cactus, and it was really intriguing.
Oh, spiky.
Well, no, what they do, Jane, sorry, slight digression, is they shave all the spikes off
Okay.
and then they cook them on a really hot grill and then put them in a corn tortilla and then put the filling on top, and it's meant to be a bit like a asparagus-y texture and flavour.
I don't know why I'm going to say this, but I would imagine that the flesh from a cactus would be quite meaty.
It's meant to be really nice, like a quite solid
Yeah,
avocado.
stodgy sort of. Oh, okay.
So,
Interesting. Don't
yeah.
dismiss something until you've tried it.
but I'm not going to Mexico, so I won't be able to try that. But if you have tried cactus, let us know. And
Well,
please don't go in the garden and just pick any old
No,
cactus.
no,
These are special cactus that you can eat, because seemingly not all cactus are edible.
No, but this maybe should be one for Disney for their upcoming Food and Wine. Perhaps.
Maybe so. And while we're mentioning Disney and food and wine, the Brazil Pavilion, or the booth, is selling a really nice looking feijoada. I'm not sure if my pronunciation is
What now?
very well on that. And it's a very classic Mexican dish.
Right.
It's a very famous Brazilian dish. And I happen to work with somebody who is Brazilian.
Okay.
So it's basically, firstly, his first complaint is it's spelt wrong. Then he says
Oops.
it's black beans with crispy pork belly, Brazil nut pesto, and Ben's original long grain white rice. And he says we don't cook Brazil nut pesto in Brazil. So it must be a sort of an Americanization of the dish.
Must be a fusion, I think, is the word you're looking for there, Michelle.
Yeah. But he did say the other item that's on the Brazil menu is I'm not going to pronounce it in Brazilian because I can't. It's the Brazilian cheese bread at $4.75. This is gluten-free,
That's good.
which is really, really good. And he has that there, and it's made with cassava starch, eggs and cheese. And he says they have it as an afternoon treat with hot coffee, and they dip it into the hot coffee. He says
Oh.
sometimes they even have it at breakfast.
So is it like a sweet bread then?
I think it's a bit cheesier.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And my friend has actually made it with vegan cheese, and he says it works out really, really well.
Oh.
But
One for
yeah,
you to try, Michelle. Add it to the list.
I definitely will be trying that cheesy bread, Jane, because it does look really good. And you know, anything with cheese,
Gotta be good.
gotta be good if it's got the cheesiness.
Definitely.
So, I think we need to wrap up this week's show, Jane. We've digressed down a completely different avenue than where we were originally going, but that's all good stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to be recording an additional show over on our Patreon channel, patreon.com/Disney Dreamgirls. And if you want an extra couple of shows from us each month as a thank you for supporting us, please pop on over there, because in a moment we're going to record a little bit more madness. As usual, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at DisDreamGirls, our website DisneyDreamGirls.com, and our Disney Dream Girls podcast family over there on that Facebook, where the lovely Donna Pitts is sharing at the moment her amazing Walt Disney World trip. I've got some more pictures. I've got to pop them up today. She's having
Cool.
a whale of a time.
Lovely.
And it's great to see other people who are having the ability to go and visit to share it with us guys who isn't.
Yeah, definitely. Keep us all in touch.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this week's selection of waffles. And we will be back next week with some more Disney Dreamgirls. But until then, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.